I'm just reading this amazing story today from Town Hall. UN chief, communism is the environment's only hope. Mm-hmm. They're at least now coming out and saying that communism, because what's happened is the EU has decided that they are going to stop with their climate change nonsense. And the EU is now going into fracking and everything else because they can't meet their energy needs. And they know that this is communist redistribution. And they know now that this whole thing is falling apart. So now the EU is backing out. Meanwhile, we're still forging ahead. And China, the UN, is now saying that communism is the only way to save the planet. Oh, sure, it'll kill all the people, but it's the only way to save the planet. Now, I just would like to just point out, and I want to show a couple of pictures here. I find it amazing. You see the people in China where the smog is so bad that they're constantly wearing masks over their face. Last Thursday, they were told, school children and old people were told, stay inside. It is far too smoggy outside. They're building coal fire plant after coal fire plant after coal fire plant.
Average of one a week.
Yeah, they are the worst on the climate. And that is, you know that to be true. Anybody who is my age and grew up in the communist era, you know that they are the worst on the environment. They are the worst on everything, absolutely everything.
And they are the world's largest emitter of CO2, which is the global warming thing.
Right.
And that happened in 2007, years before they predicted it.
Okay, so here is a picture, and we'll describe it on radio, but if you happen to be watching television, this is a picture last week in China. They are putting these gigantic LED screens. Would you say that's at least the size of the one in Cowboy Stadium?
It
looks like it.
Appears to be that.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell from the scale.
At least it's huge. It is huge. A giant
That could
billboard.
be 60 yards long.
Yeah. So, and what it is, it's in the middle of Beijing, and they're putting these up everywhere. And what they are is sky cams. They're putting up these videos, so the air and the clouds are so awful. The clouds of pollution, you can no longer see the sky, and so people are coming now, and they are actually going to watch the sunrise on television
because they haven't seen it in so long.
They haven't seen the sky.
That is amazing.
And communism is the solution to all of this? Jeez. I mean, it drives me nuts. We talked about this when I got back from vacation, when I was in the mountains. And any place where there is a valley surrounded by mountains, you have what's called the inversion. And this happens in Phoenix, Arizona all the time. And what happens is there is no way for the pollution to escape the valley because it becomes warmer in the valley than it is on top. And so it traps everything in there. And so the sky just becomes brown.
Yeah, an inversion is the opposite of that. It's warmer on top and it's colder on the underneath.
Isn't that what I said?
No, you said it the opposite way.
Oh, okay, I meant the other way. Okay. Yeah. So it traps it all in there. And my wife was going on about the inversion and everything else. And I said, honey, let me just remind you that they used to have coal in every home. Now, what was the world like 150 years ago when everyone was burning coal in their home and in their office? And I asked, and I found out, guys used to take 2 shirts with them. It wasn't just Pittsburgh. It was all over the country, all over the world. People would bring 2 white shirts to work. One you would wear until noon, but the coal dust was so bad that your shirt was black by the time that you got to lunchtime. So you would change shirts. That was common practice probably 70 years ago. Well, what? Hello? We're talking about how bad it is now? I've not ever had to bring 2 shirts to work. I don't know anybody who has ever had to bring 2 shirts to work because the air pollution was so bad. We look at people from Asia that are wearing the masks all the time, and we're like, what is their deal with the masks? I mean, don't you think, like, you look at them like they're paranoid or something? What is the deal with the mask all the time? It is so far removed from our capitalist society. It is so far removed that we would all have to wear masks because we were afraid of some disease. It's so far removed that we all have to wear masks because, we'll all have tuberculosis by the end of the week. And yet, our society is holding up that society as the great hope. Have you been to Mexico City lately? Because I was in Mexico City in the 80s, and the air pollution there was so bad. They used to have like phone booths that you could walk in and you'd put some money in, and it would actually give you oxygen. It was so bad. It's no longer like that in Mexico City. The air quality is improved tenfold.
That's what happens when you embrace capitalism and get richer.
That's right.
That's right. Mexico's a dream compared to China.
Yes.
And China is, in some ways better than the least developed countries. There's still 3 million people die every year across the globe from indoor air pollution. Indoor air pollution. Indoor air pollution has killed more than twice as much as all of our wars combined in the last century. Because people are just to stay warm, to cook, are cooking things. They're using twigs and dung and as you pointed out, coal, burning things indoors. Indoor air pollution. We're talking about a country in China that still has many of these problems, and their outdoor situation is almost as bad. And they're the answer to our global environmental problems? I mean, this is insanity.